Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Sally.
So this is just a 5 or 6 minute interview for my class. I'm recording this just so that, my peers, my teacher can evaluate how I'm doing with the interview process. Other than that, everything we say is going to be kept confidential, just between my class and my teacher and myself.
All right.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So I was just wondering if you could tell me a little bit about what you do.
So I'm a deputy prosecutor at the King County Prosecutor's Office, which means I'm an attorney that works in our criminal division. So we're the agency responsible for charging and prosecuting crimes that occur within King County.
Okay, so you work mostly just within King County?
Yes,
right?
that's the area that we have jurisdiction for is King County.
Okay. And what do you do on a day-to-day basis, though?
I typically, I'm in a litigation mode where I have cases that I've charged. In the past, it's been homicide cases for the last 6 years. Now I'm in a unit called Sexually Violent Predator. So a case will come up for review from a police agency. We'll make the decision to charge it. Once it's charged, then it's my responsibility to get it ready for trial. So on a day-to-day basis, it's finding witnesses, interviewing witnesses, writing briefs on legal issues that may come up in the case, and those type of issues.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the Sexually Violent Predator unit? I mean, what does that really entail?
So the Sexually Violent Predator unit, we have a division in King County. We'll cover outside of King County. It's one of those unique situations, and then there's a division with the Attorney General's office. And it's a unit that if we believe someone who is currently in custody, who's been evaluated, who has a prior conviction for a sexually violent offense, fits the parameters of the definition of sexually violent predator, or if there's someone with a violent sexual offense who has been released and then committed a recent overt act, it's called, we can bring a petition to go before a jury and have them called a sexually violent predator, which means that they would be held in custody for life.
So it's a pretty long process, right?
It is. It's a long process because you're going back throughout the history of these individuals. So the scope of the investigation is very large. I mean, you may be working from 1960, 1970, 1980, tracking down all of the victims from the past so that you can put them before the jury. And then it just takes a while to get this type of case to trial. The trials then are typically around 4 to 6 weeks. And then what's unique is even once they've been committed to be a sexually violent predator, then they come up every year for a review.
Oh my gosh.
So.
Jeez, I mean, is it pretty tough emotionally? It sounds like it is.
It is. My background was in homicide, and I kind of compare the two and find that a lot of the acts involved in the sexually violent predator are a lot more disturbing to me personally, just the amount of harm that you see caused to people.
What would you say is the biggest challenge versus homicide and sexually violent predators?
I think probably because you're dealing with the living still, and to have people come in and participate in a judicial process where you're asking them to talk about and describe what they suffered through, and then also be subject to an adversary proceeding where the other side has the right to question them. It's a very difficult thing to put people through. In this case now, not only have they probably participated in the first round where they got a conviction, we're coming back years later and asking for them to participate again. So you might be knocking on the door of someone who hasn't had to think about this for 10 to 15 years, and you're bringing them back to it.
And to recall all those memories.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to put someone through.
Jeez. I mean, what do you get out of it? I mean, do you enjoy this?
I do. I think I get the satisfaction of knowing that I've made a difference, that I think I'm putting my talent and my ability to use for the public, which means a lot to me. And I've just had the privilege to work with a lot of good people on cases, whether it be detectives or victims' families, witnesses, and I've worked with a lot of really good attorneys through the years.
So you feel like you've gotten to make a difference with the lives of other people as well?
I do. I don't have any doubt that have made a difference about something, about people that I care about.
That seems really important.
It's very, I think some people are driven by money and some people are driven by other forces. And I think for me, I care about people. I'm a people-driven person.
Yeah, I think that's great. Well, we're wrapping up the end of our interview here. Is there anything you'd want to say to someone who is going to be an attorney or work with, sexually violent predators? What would you advise them?
I guess always just keep an open mind that there are good and bad people in every part of society, every part of life. Don't label people because somebody comes from a certain neighborhood or from a certain socioeconomic bracket. There are good people everywhere, there are bad people everywhere.
I think that's really important to keep in mind.
I do too.
Well, thank you so much for letting me interview you today.
You're welcome. Good luck with your class.
Oh, thank you.